In a world not so different from our own, two brothers lived vastly different lives. One brother, draped in silk and adorned with gold, walked the polished halls of the royal court. His days were filled with whispers of power and the clink of fine china, and the other, his world was one of sweat and hard labor. He kneaded fresh dough, lifted stone, and built with his hands. His bread was earned through labor, not favor. One day, the courtier brother paid a visit. Looking down at his sibling's rough hands, he said, "Brother, why do you tire yourself with this harsh life? Come join me at the palace and serve the king. Your days will be easier, your nights more comfortable." But the laboring brother simply smiled. "And tell me," he replied, "why don't you work with your hands so that you may free yourself from the humiliation of serving another man?" Those words, spoken centuries ago by the Persian poet Saadi, cut deeper today than ever before. In our modern world, where we're conditioned to chase titles, impress those in power, and climb ladders built by others, Saadi's wisdom rings true. It is better to knead dough with your own hand than to place your hand on your heart before a master. Better to blister your palm with lime and dough than to bow your chest to a master's hand. This story doesn't end with a grand moral or a sudden transformation, because the message is simple and timeless. Work, however humble, is more honorable than flattery in the halls of power. But let's pause for a moment. How does this ancient tale apply to our lives today? Think about it. How many of us are chasing job titles that mean nothing outside our industry bubble? How many are desperately trying to impress bosses who see us as nothing more than cogs in their machine? We live in an age where influencer is considered a legitimate career path, where people spend more time curating their LinkedIn profile than developing actual skills, where we're more concerned with how our job sounds at a dinner party than whether it fulfills us. Saadi continues, "A priceless life is wasted worrying. What shall I eat in summer? What shall I wear in winter?" He's talking about us, folks. How many hours have we spent agonizing over our next career move? How much mental energy have we wasted trying to decode office politics? How many sleepless nights have we endured worrying about impressing people who in the grand scheme of things don't matter? But here's the kicker. Saadi isn't telling us to quit our jobs and become hermits. He's not advocating for a life of poverty or hardship. He's simply reminding us that there's dignity in honest work, regardless of how lowly it might seem to others. In our world of carefully curated Instagram feeds and LinkedIn humble brags, it's easy to forget this simple truth. We're so busy trying to look successful that we forget to actually be successful on our own terms. So what can we learn from this tale of two brothers? First, there's no shame in honest work, whether you're a CEO or a street sweeper. If you're doing your job with integrity and to the best of your ability, you're worthy of respect. Second, true freedom comes from self-reliance. When you can stand on your own 2 feet, you're not at the mercy of anyone else's whims or favor. And finally, the most important opinion about your work should be your own. Are you proud of what you do? Does it align with your values? Does it allow you to sleep soundly at night? These are the questions that matter. Now, I can already hear some of you protesting. But what about ambition, you might ask? What about striving for a better life? And you're right to ask. Ambition isn't inherently bad. Wanting to improve your situation, to grow, to achieve. These are all natural and often positive desires. But there's a crucial difference between ambition that comes from within and ambition that's driven by external validation. Are you pursuing that promotion because it aligns with your personal goals, or because you think it'll make you look good to others? Are you chasing that fancy job title because it excites you, or because you think it'll impress your high school reunion? Saadi's tale reminds us to question our motivations, to examine why we do what we do, to ensure that we're living our lives, not someone else's idea of what our lives should be. In today's world, it's all too easy to get caught up in the rat race, to measure our worth by our salary, our job title, or the number of followers we have on social media. But at what cost? How many of us have sacrificed our peace of mind, our relationships, or our health on the altar of success? How many have realized too late that the ladder they've been climbing was leaning against the wrong wall? Saadi's brothers represent two paths, one of apparent ease and prestige, and one of honest labor and independence. But the real lesson isn't about choosing between these two extremes. It's about finding your own path, one that allows you to maintain your dignity, independence, and self-worth. So, the next time you find yourself envying someone's job title or feeling ashamed of your own work, remember Saadi's words. Remember that there's honor in all work done with integrity. Remember that true freedom comes from within, not from external validation. And most importantly, remember that your life is your own. Don't waste it trying to impress others or live up to society's often misguided expectation. Like Saadi so eloquently put it, a priceless life is wasted worrying. What shall I eat in summer? What shall I wear in winter? Don't let your priceless life be wasted on such trivial concerns. Instead, focus on what truly matters, living with purpose, integrity, and self-respect. In the end, it doesn't matter whether you're kneading dough or walking the halls of power. What matters is that you can look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of the person looking back at you. So, let us all take a lesson from the laboring brother. Let's find dignity in our work, whatever it may be. Let's strive for self-reliance and independence. And let's remember that true success isn't measured by titles or riches, but by the content of our character and the peace in our hearts. After all, isn't that what we're all really searching for? Not the approval of others, but the quiet satisfaction of a life well lived. Thank you for devoting your time to this space, where the soul of Persian poetry meets the struggles of modern life. Please like and subscribe for more soulful stories and poetic lessons from Rumi, Hafez, Saadi, and beyond.